Marriage is a teacher. Speech title, Marriage is a Teacher. Toastmaster Siva Ramalingam.
One million copies of a new book got sold in just 2 days, just because one single mistake on the title. Instead of life, they put this an idea to change your wife. Fellow Toastmasters and contest leaders, great evening.
Good evening.
I still feel pity for those 1 million people. They did not understand the fact that a secret of a happy marriage is still remains secret. As soon as I got engaged, I went to an astrologer and showed my home and asked him, "Can you please predict my future?" He looked at my hand and calculated all the stars. And he said, "Dear, by birth you are a great guy, but your star says next 2 years are going to be a very challenging time for you." I was thinking, okay, what after 2 years? No worries. After 2 years also it will remain same, but you will get used to that. For the Toastmasters, marriage is like our Toastmastering experience. Whatever speech you give, always there is a possibility to improve. And you can always learn by doing. Once, my wife was teaching my kid English grammar. So she was telling me, "See, I am so beautiful. What tense it is?" Jokingly I said, "Past tense." That's the day I did not get food for next 2 days. That day I learned that with your wife, never ever joke in front of her. The very first thing I like in Saudi Arabia is the dress code. I loved particularly this abaya. Back home in India, think about myself standing in front of the shopping mall 5 hours when my wife is buying a cloth for her. Sometimes the passersby used to think that I'm working there. They used to think that how to go inside, etc. But just one set of abaya solved all the problems. No more purchase of new clothes for my wife. No ironing. No kind of expenses. And another great advantage is that whenever we want to go out, my wife used to say, "First you get ready. For me it is just 2 minutes." Just put that abaya, whatever the dress you have, just put. Just 2 minutes. She is ready. But there is a problem for me. Whenever we are in a very big mall, a crowded mall, it is difficult to find my wife. Whoever I see, they look like my wife, at least 5. But then I had this big problem because I was searching for wife and everywhere, and everybody looked like that. But I found one great technique. Whenever I lost my wife in the shopping mall, I used to stay in a corner and watch some beautiful faces and looking at them. But somehow my wife smells this one. Within 1 minute she will come to me, "What you are doing?" And that's the way my wife always finds me and she catches me. My wife used to read books before going to bed. I used to think that being a wife of a project manager, she should be modern, still reading those paper books, etc. iPad, e-books, Kindle. So I was trying to tell her. Once in the evening, she was about to go to bed. So suddenly she asked me, "Get me a book, get me a book, get me a book." I said, "Come on, darling, you have to grow up. It's a modern world. Use my iPad, read the e-book." And I proudly gave my iPad. Without even listening to me, she took the iPad, smashed it on the side table, just to kill one cockroach. 2,349 riyal. iPad is gone just to kill one cockroach. Can you believe that? That day, I learned one lesson. To be a good husband, you should always listen to whatever your wife says. Don't assume anything. And keep your checkbook open. Ever since that incident, I was so depressed. I was getting angry with my wife, whatever the way she talks. Then I thought of visiting the doctor. Here in Saudi Arabia, visiting hospital is one of my favorite pastime. And during season time, I visit very often. And in case if your pharmacy says that they are out of stock for any medicine, just give me a call. Probably I might find it in my car. I made friends with one of the doctor, and I went there because I like the doctor. He goes out of the way, in fact, out of the disease to give some medicine, paracetamol or strepsils, etc. One day, jokingly, I asked him, "Can you give 2 lipsticks?" He took it seriously. He said, no, that is not covered by insurance. I will give you lip cream. So I told the doctor, I have a big problem, a lot of depression because of this iPad story. He checked my all vital statistics, blood pressure, including my throat. I don't know why. Then finally he said, "Siva, this seems to be okay, man. But let me give you one therapy. Just follow it up." "Okay, doctor, tell me." He said, "Whenever you get angry, just take a bottle of water, take 1 sip, put it in your mouth, and don't drink." I said, "Sounds easy. How long I should take?" He said, "Man, this is not for you. This is for your wife. Whenever you get angry, tell her to take a sip of water, keep it on her mouth until you become okay." I thought, man, this guy is mad. But since he's my good friend, I believed him, I trusted him. So I went home with a bottle of water. As soon as I reached home, my wife, she's like Google. Google, when you start typing, it will predict what you are thinking. But my wife, as soon as he sees you, okay, that's what you are doing. So when I knocked the door, she thought, instead of going to hospital, I went to another Toastmasters meeting and just coming with a bottle of water. She said, "What's going on?" I told the story. And we tried it. And believe me, it works. It works. So fellow Toastmasters, I realized one thing. To have a beautiful life, at least one partner should not talk when the other one is talking. And life is great. So, as the saying goes, for marriage, before marriage, the man is incomplete. But after marriage, he is finished. But he becomes finished product only after the marriage.